Hello, everyone. Welcome to Purpose Coaching with Jean. Today, we are going to address the topic that affects millions of people. Yet, many suffer in silence because they do not know where to turn or how to process the pain. We are going to talk about online harassment and cyberbullying. Harassment and bullying have become some of the most damaging forms of emotional and psychological harm in our generation. People experience attacks on social media through text messages, email, anonymous accounts, and even group chat that are meant to humiliate, silence, intimidate, or control. Although people often say it is just the internet and encourage victims to ignore it, the emotional weight is real, guys. Words carry power. And when someone targets your identity, your character, or your reputation, it can lead wounds that runs much deeper than what the eye can see. See, many people withdraw from friends and family, stop posting online altogether, questioning their self-worth, and live in constant anxiety, self-doubt, and fear of judgment. That is why this conversation is important. That is why this conversation matters. You see, online harassment happens when someone repeatedly engages in behavior intended to shame or provoke other people. It can involve insult, name calling, exposing private information, spreading lies, threat, harassment campaign, impersonation, public humiliation, manipulation, or targeting someone's faith, their background, their relationships, or physical appearance. Most harassment does not come from people who are confident or emotionally healthy. They often comes from individuals who feel powerless in their own lives and try to gain a sense of control by attacking other people. When people hide behind screens, they feel protected. They feel protected because they never have to face the damage they cause. They speak with boldness. They speak with boldness otherwise would never have in person. But the pain they cause is not virtual. It is real. The nervousness before posting, the fear of opening messages, the embarrassment of public comments, the feeling of being watched or judged. These are real emotional responses that deserve real support and real solutions. Some people isolate themselves and become afraid to leave their own homes. In more severe situations, the emotional damage leads to self-harm or suicidal thoughts. That is extremely, extremely frightening. And in certain cases, harassment escalates in real-world confrontations, such as stalking, physical fights, or threats that turn into violence. When someone publish private information like address or workplace, the danger become immediate and real. This is why we cannot minimize cyberbullying or treat it lightly. We cannot do that. Proverbs 18:21 says the tongue has the power of life and death. You see, words can damage a life, but they can also rebuild one. Understanding the seriousness of this issue is the first step toward protecting ourselves and protecting those suffering silently. So if you ever have been the target of online harassment or cyberbullying, I want to say this to you directly. what happened to you was not your fault, and you did not deserve it. I'm saying this because many victims internalize the attack and ask themselves what they did wrong or why they aren't strong enough. But it's important to understand, it's important to know. Harassment is a reflection of the character of the person doing the harming, not the person receiving it. You are not weak for feeling hurt. You are human. And being affected by cruelty is not a sign of weakness. It is evidence that your heart is alive. Healing begins when you release the shame that someone else placed in you. And you recognize that your value does not decrease based on someone's inability to see it. It's very important for us to acknowledge that. So, one of the steps in supporting someone dealing with online harassment is validation. People need to hear that their experience is legitimate and that their emotions make sense. Once safety and trust are established, we begin exploring the internal impact. What thoughts were created by the attack? What emotions surface? And if you are currently dealing with harassment, there are several practical steps you can take to regain control. First, set firm digital boundaries. You're not required to give anyone access to your time, your energy, or your emotional space. Second, avoid emotionally engage with aggressors. You see, harassers crave reaction because it makes them feel powerful. When you do not respond, you remove the fuel that feeds their behavior. Third, it's important to document everything. Screenshots, dates, username, messages. If the situation ever escalates, that document becomes a powerful tool. And fourth, talk to someone you trust. Isolation signifies pain, while connection helps heal it. And finally, remember that a comment, a message, or a post does not define who you are. You are more than the opinion of a stranger. It's very important to remember that. I want to leave you with a few reflection questions. What negative voices have you allowed to shape your identity? And what would you reclaim your peace look like today? I want you to know you are stronger than what was said about you. You are bigger than the attack. And if this message encourages you, please share it with someone who may be silently suffering. And if you are ready to rebuild your confidence, restore your voice, and reclaim your purpose, stay connected and join me on this journey. Greater things are ahead. This is Purpose Coaching with Jean, helping you rise, rebuild, and discover who God created you to be. I'll see you in the next one.